of Israel. He said, I know I'm jacked up. I know I'm tore up. I know I don't deserve your attention. I know I don't deserve this moment. But let me call a name that you'll recognize and I can identify with. You see, when he called the name of David, he called the name of the king of Israel, but he also called the name of one that was guilty of murder and adultery. But he knew the name to call of one who was able to pick up the pen, open up his heart, and say in Psalm 51, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew within me the right spirit, that these bones that you have broken may feel joy again. You see, when he called the name of David, Jesus recognized that name. He was the sweet singer of Israel, but he was also a trip. But if God could forgive a scoundrel like David, Bartimaeus said, I think he can hook a brother up. Jesus, thou son of David. Watch the last little piece of that verse. He says, have mercy on me. Notice he didn't say, have grace on me. There was a difference between grace and mercy. You see, grace goes before you to make a way out of no way. Grace goes before you to knock down trees and to clear out paths, but mercy is a little different, because mercy comes behind you with a divine pooper scoop to help you clean up what you messed up. Y'all ain't talking to me. So you can start your life over again. And Bartimaeus said, I'm not going to ask you for grace, but if you got a little mercy left over, if you could just have a little mercy on me. You see, Bartimaeus was blind, but he knew what God had done. And he knew that anytime anybody said, Lord, have mercy, God will come and answer the request. Let me see if I can call a few witnesses. You see, there was one time that mercy and justice were having a meeting, and justice said, I've got some folks I want to argue my case about, and I've got some folks that I've been wondering why they're making it under God's radar, and I want you to meet me at 3 o'clock on cloud 9. Well, 12 o'clock came, and justice was early. Showed up with his attaché briefcase, Louis Vuitton shoes, legs crossed, legs shaking, watching his Rolex, looking for mercy to show up. 1 o'clock, mercy wasn't there. 2 o'clock, mercy wasn't there. 3 o'clock, mercy hadn't shown up. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, here comes mercy showing up to a meeting with justice. And when mercy got there, justice was closing up his briefcase and saying, I'm going out of here. Told you to meet me here at 3 o'clock. Then he took a good look at mercy. And notice that mercy looked kind of bad. Matter of fact, mercy smelled like smoke. And his clothes were all raggedy and torn. Justice said, it's bad enough you show up late. Then you got the nerve to show up looking and smelling so bad. Mercy said, justice, listen, before you leave, at least allow me a chance to explain myself. Mercy said, I was on my way to meet you here at 3 o'clock. On my way to meet you here, I heard somebody say, Lord, have mercy. I had to go and see what was going on. And when I got there, the reason I smell like smoke is because it was Shadrach, Meshach, and that other. They went to fire furnace and they said, Lord, have mercy. And I got to step in and snatch the heat out of the flame. Say, listen, Justice, I was on my way. I was on my way. I left there, but on my way here from the fiery furnace, I heard somebody else say, Lord, have mercy. You know, mercy is my job, so I had to show up, and when I got there, it was Daniel in the lion's den. That's the reason why did the blind man holler? Number one, it was the sight of the man, the sight of the man. But the second reason why a blind man hollered was the sound of the masses. The sound of the masses, because the text is telling to testify and teach that when Bartimaeus began to hear who it was and he began to cry out, verse number 48 says, I'm going to wait till my seat. Meaning charged him that he should hold his peace. All right, that's King James Version. Let me give you Litman translation. Everybody told him, shut up. That's the Litman translation. They began to tell him, be quiet. But notice after the colon, he cried the more a great deal. Have mercy. Thou, son of David, have mercy on me. Notice they told him to be quiet, but he cried the more a great deal. And it was actually the sound of the multitude telling him to be quiet that motivated him to get loud. Bartimaeus. I had a meeting in my office before I came to the pulpit with Bartimaeus, and I said, Bartimaeus, I want to know one thing. He said, what is it, Litman? I said, I want to know, why did you get louder when they told you to get quiet? He said, always use opposition for your promotion. He said, the folk that was telling me to hush had their son. And every now and then, you'll sit on the road with somebody that don't even say it to you, they'll give you that look. You got to learn how to look back and keep out. As a matter of fact, if Bartimaeus was here today, he'd tell you, let the adoration be your motivation for your celebration and your elevation, because you got a revelation of who Jesus is. Reach up in here. Up there, the man, be quiet. Listen, they're telling him to be quiet. Here he is, now in the presence of God himself. They're telling him, be quiet. Here he is, in the presence of the one who created the heavens and the earth, and they're telling him to be quiet. Here he is, closer to his deliverance than he will ever be at any point in his life, and they are telling him, be quiet. Around and made a man, blew breath into his nostrils, man became a living soul, stood him up, put a brain on the inside, a heart in the center of his chest to pump blood through all of his miles of vein, and they're telling him, be quiet. Let me just say this. I think I want to do a little exercise. Let's do a little exercise, all right? You're a good class. Let's do a little exercise. Now, here's what I want you to do. If you can be quiet, then I want you to be quiet. Now listen to this. If you can, then be quiet, all right? Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it. Maybe we can understand why Bartimaeus hollered while he was a blind man. Now listen to this. You could have been born rather than in a sterile hospital with nurses and degreed professional doctors. You could have been born on a mud floor in a hut on a third world